There's a place beyond noise, a place where dreams take shape and peace is not a fantasy, but a right. Tonight, you are invited to leave behind the burdens of your day and step into a sanctuary crafted just for you. Let the deep voice of wisdom guide your spirit, slow your breath, and open the doorway to healing, clarity, and purpose, all found in the stillness of sleep. You've done enough today. You've carried thoughts like bricks, some yours, some handed to you by others. But now it's time to let them go. Each breath is an act of courage. Each exhale, a quiet rebellion against the chaos. You're not just drifting into sleep. You're returning to yourself. Think of sleep not as an end, but a gentle beginning. In this quiet world, you don't have to chase anything. Here, you are already enough. Your failures, they cannot follow you here. Your doubts, they dissolve into the dark like mist. This moment belongs to you. Not your past, not your critics, not your fears. You. Close your eyes and listen. You are safe. You are healing. You are worthy. The stars outside don't burn brighter than the light within you. Even the moon looks down in awe. And as the night wraps itself around your weary soul, remember, peace is your birthright. Let this calm voice be your guide. Let each word be a bridge, from stress to serenity, from pressure to peace, from thought to dream. And as the world softens, so do you. You are not made to carry the weight forever. Let it slip from your shoulders like a coat that no longer fits. Your purpose is not to struggle endlessly. It is to live deeply, love freely, and rest boldly. In a world that glorifies constant hustle, staying busy is often mistaken for being valuable. We're told that success comes to those who never stop, who never sleep, who outwork and outrun everyone else. But what if that belief, that rest is laziness, that stillness is failure, is not only wrong, but dangerous? What if rest is not the enemy of progress, but the foundation of it? To rest is to say, I trust myself enough to pause. It is to believe that your worth doesn't decrease when your hands are still, when your calendar is empty, or when your mind is quiet. It's in that stillness that we reconnect with what truly matters. The soul doesn't speak in shouts, it whispers, and you can only hear it when you slow down. The truth is, rest takes courage. It's easier to keep pushing, to distract yourself with the noise of to-do lists and deadlines. But stepping away, even just for a moment, requires faith. It says, the world will not fall apart without me. I am allowed to breathe. This is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Just like a field must lie fallow to grow crops again, the human spirit needs space to regenerate. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give your best when you are burned out, frayed and weary. When you rest, you are not quitting. You are preparing. You are watering the roots so your branches can grow stronger. You are trusting that even in stillness, life is moving. Growth happens in the quiet. Healing happens in the dark. And beyond the physical and mental recovery, rest is a profound declaration of self-worth. It's saying, I deserve peace. I deserve a moment for me. That isn't selfish. It's human. Because only when you care for yourself can you fully show up for others. Rest is not a retreat from life. It's a return to yourself. Think of how the ocean waves recede before they crash forward. Think of how the heart beats, not in constant pressure, but in rhythmic pulses with pauses in between. Nature itself honors the cycle of rest. So why don't we? You do not have to earn your rest. You are not a machine. You are not a project to constantly improve. You are a human being, soft, strong, tired, and worthy. The world can wait. For now, close your eyes, let go of the noise, and trust that in this moment of rest, you are exactly where you are meant to be. Not because you're doing something, but because you're being, and that is more than enough. From the moment we take our first breath, the world begins to measure us. Grades, achievements, appearance, status, all around us are messages that whisper or shout that we must prove our worth, earn our place, and do more to be more. Slowly, we begin to tie our value to outcomes. We start to believe that we are only as good as what we accomplish, how many people approve of us, or how flawless we appear on the outside. But there is a deeper truth, a quieter, more powerful one. You are enough, not because of the role you play, the work you produce, or the expectations you meet. You are enough because you exist, because you are alive, breathing, and real. Worthiness is not a reward for performance. It is your birthright. There is nothing you need to chase to earn this truth. You don't have to fix yourself, reshape yourself, or constantly explain yourself. The pressure to always be more is rooted in fear. Fear of not being accepted, of being overlooked, of somehow failing to measure up to some invisible standard. But that fear is a lie. You were never meant to live your life trying to earn approval from people who don't see the real you. Pause for a moment and imagine who you were before the world told you who to be. That version of you, wild, curious, imperfect, and full of wonder, is still there, hidden beneath the layers of performance, behind the smile you wear when you're exhausted, beneath the apologies you give just for existing. You are still whole. Being enough doesn't mean you are perfect. It means your imperfections don't disqualify you from love, peace, or purpose. It means that your presence matters even when you're quiet, even when you're not producing, even when you're unsure. You are allowed to rest without guilt. You are allowed to feel sad without explaining yourself. You are allowed to just be, without always having a goal or outcome in mind. That stillness does not make you less valuable. It reveals your truest worth. You don't have to compete with others to prove yourself. You don't have to wear masks to be accepted. The people who truly see you, who love the real you, don't love you because you're useful. They love you because you're you. And that is enough. When you let go of the pressure to constantly become someone else, you create space to simply be who you already are. And in that space, something beautiful happens. You begin to heal. You begin to believe. You begin to live from a place of peace rather than performance. So breathe. You don't have to strive right now. You don't have to impress anyone. You are enough, exactly as you are. And that has always been true. We've been taught to associate strength with volume, with shouting the loudest, moving the fastest, achieving the most, and constantly pushing forward. We admire the ones who seem untouchable, who are always on, always striving. But there is a quieter kind of power, one that doesn't demand attention, but commands respect. A power that lives not in chaos, but in calm. That power is stillness. Stillness is not weakness. It is not passivity. It is not laziness. Stillness is intentional. It is presence. It is the rare and radical act of stepping back and choosing not to be consumed by the noise of the world. Because it's in stillness that we find clarity. It's where the truth has room to rise to the surface. When the storms of life rage, the strongest part of us is not the part that reacts. It's the part that can remain grounded. In stillness, you face yourself. Not the version you present to the world, but the raw, unfiltered you. And facing yourself, your fears, your doubts, your pain, takes far more strength than pretending everything is fine. It takes courage to be still in a world that equates stillness with failure. But silence is not the absence of action. It's the preparation for meaningful action. It's the reset before the rise. Stillness gives you space to listen, not just to others, but to your inner wisdom, the quiet voice inside that knows what's real, what matters, what feels right. You can't hear that voice when you're rushing, performing, or trying to meet impossible expectations. You hear it in the quiet, and when you do, it doesn't scream. It speaks with calm authority. You are enough. You know the way. Keep going. It is in stillness that you become unshakable. Not because life stops throwing storms at you, but because you've learned to anchor yourself from within. You don't react to every wave. You don't let the noise of the world drown out the truth of who you are. You move from a place of knowing, not proving, from peace, not panic. And in a society obsessed with speed, stillness becomes an act of rebellion. To choose rest, reflection, and slowness is to reclaim your power from a world that tries to pull you in 1,000 directions. It's saying, I will not be rushed. I will not be distracted. I will not be shaken. That is strength. Quiet, steady, unwavering strength. So the next time you feel like you need to do more, say more, be more, stop, get quiet, go inward. There is more power in a single breath of awareness than in 100 hours of chaos. The world doesn't need a louder version of you. It needs the real you, calm, centered, and strong in your stillness. We hold on to so much. Expectations, regret, pain, identities we've outgrown, stories we tell ourselves about who we're supposed to be, how things should have gone, or what we could have done differently. We carry these things quietly, sometimes not even realizing how much they weight us down, until we start to sink under the pressure of it all. But healing doesn't begin with fixing everything. It begins with releasing what no longer serves us. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's not weakness or defeat. It's an act of bravery. It's saying, I'm done carrying what was never mine to begin with. It's choosing peace over perfection, freedom over control, and growth over comfort. There is a fear that if we let go, we'll lose a part of ourselves. And in a way, we do. But often, it's the part that's been holding us back. The part built on fear, shame, or unmet expectations. When you let go of the belief that you always have to be strong, you allow yourself to be human. When you let go of needing to be right, you create space for understanding. When you let go of the past, you finally have room for the present. It takes strength to loosen your grip on things you've clung to for so long. But sometimes, the tightest grip does the most harm. We think we're protecting ourselves by holding on to people, to pain, to certainty. But often, we're just delaying the healing that comes when we finally surrender. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means you no longer allow the memory to control your direction. It means honoring what was, but not letting it define what is. Some things and some people are meant to be part of your journey, but not your destination. The longer you carry them, the more they block your view of what's ahead. Healing isn't loud. It doesn't always come with breakthroughs or epiphanies. Sometimes healing is a quiet release, a slow, steady unwinding of pain you no longer need. It happens in the still moments, in the sigh you didn't know you were holding, in the decision to stop chasing answers and start trusting the process. When you let go, you come back to yourself, to the version of you that's not shaped by wounds, but by wisdom. But it happened. You begin to see life not through the lens of what you've lost, but through the possibility of what's to come. You give yourself permission to be light again, to move through the world with a little more grace, a little less armor. Letting go isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily choice. And every time you choose release over resistance, you move one step closer to healing, not because the pain disappears, but because it no longer controls your life. We spend so much of our lives searching for peace, as if it's something that exists outside of us. We look for it in relationships, achievements, possessions, or distant places we imagine will quiet the storm inside. We tell ourselves, when I have this, when I finish that, when they understand me, then I'll be at peace. But the truth is, peace was never lost, only forgotten. Peace doesn't arrive when the world finally stops being chaotic. It doesn't wait for perfect circumstances. It's not something you have to chase. It's something you return to, something ancient, familiar, deeply rooted, something that has always been inside you, quietly waiting beneath the noise. You were born with peace in you. Think of a sleeping child, no fear of tomorrow, no guilt from yesterday. Just presence, just breath, just being. That's the peace we're all trying to get back to. But as we grow, life layers us with distractions, wounds, pressure, and performance. And little by little, that peace gets buried beneath expectations and survival. But it's still there. Peace lives in the pause between your breaths. It lives in the space between thoughts. It waits in moments of silence, of surrender, of stillness. It doesn't shout to be heard. It whispers. And the only way to remember it is to stop, to listen, to turn inward. There's a reason we feel most at peace when we're alone in nature, or lying under the stars, or watching the sun set. In those moments, We're not doing anything. We're simply being. We're not trying to be enough. We're remembering that we already are. Peace doesn't need you to be impressive. It just needs you to be present. The world will try to convince you that peace is earned, that it comes after success, after approval, after certainty. But that's not peace. That's the illusion of peace, wrapped in conditions. Real peace doesn't depend on what's happening around you. It depends on your ability to stay grounded within. And yes, sometimes peace is hard to access, especially when life hurts. But even in the pain, peace is not gone. Even in the uncertainty, there is a calm place inside you that knows how to hold it all. The grief, the joy, the questions, the healing. You don't need to escape to find it. You just need to come home to yourself. So when life gets loud, when your heart feels heavy, when the world feels overwhelming, remember, you don't need to search for peace. You are the vessel that holds it. The quiet has always known your name. And every time you choose to breathe, to slow down, to listen, you return to the truth that peace was never lost. It lives in you. And it always has. So now breathe. Let the stillness settle into your chest. Let it remind you that everything you've been searching for, peace, worth, rest, strength, and healing, has always been within you, not out there, not in the approval of others, not in the noise of the world, but right here in your own quiet presence. You don't need to rush. You don't need to prove. You don't need to carry the weight of 1,000 expectations anymore. What you truly need is already in you. And now you remember. You remember that rest is not a luxury. It is your right. That your worth is not tied to how much you do, but to who you are. That true strength doesn't roar. It listens. That letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means making room. And that peace doesn't need to be found. It just needs to be welcomed home. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not behind. You are exactly where you're meant to be. Even when you feel uncertain, your soul knows the way. So as you close